How are you? Welcome to Sport Exposure Podcast. Thank you. Welcome. Well, welcome back to Sport Exposure Podcast. We are here to expose sport stories, sport experiences for the next student athletes, the next generation of student athletes to really leave a blueprint to what to do, what not to do, so really how to navigate the system that they're playing in. So welcome, Maurice Horton.
Thank you so much, Michaela.
Can I congratulate you on your latest position?
Sure can.
Congratulations for your latest position as an assistant principal at Sims Middle School right here in Hampton.
Ooh, that don't sound crazy.
It sounds good.
I'm loving it.
Real fresh.
I'm loving it though, because I'm able to now broaden my impact as an educator. Now I'm teaching through other teachers. So,
That's important.
Yeah, I'm
That's
loving
important.
it. Yeah.
So tell me a little more about your background, your profession, what you do, how you got to here.
So where would you like me to start? Do you want me to start on the sports side or jump ahead to this education world?
Let's talk about your current profession since it's fresh. Let's talk about that now.
So I've been in education this is 2013. This is the start of year 12. I actually got into education after my sports career, chasing that basketball around quite a bit. In 2011, the end of 2011. It's been primarily in the special education arena. I didn't want to necessarily get into education, but my experience working with youth beforehand as a recreation specialist, that was my degree in college and things of that nature. When I came back from finishing, like I said, chasing that basketball, I wanted to stick to the same schedule that I was already on. Those summers off, work during the fall, the winter, spring, get back to summer off. And I said, I'm going to try my hand at education because it, one, gives me that schedule, and then two, it still allows me to work with youth, which is what I had my experience in. That's what I wanted to do. It was a passion for me. And started off in that special education realm that as an instructional assistant. I didn't even start at that's the entry level position. Did very well in those environments. I had a lot of people pouring into me. Saw some things into me, that they felt they could nurture. And from there it snowballed, and I moved up the ranks to an actual special educator, which gave me more responsibilities and things of that nature. Being in the classroom a lot more and working collaboratively with another teacher. And then from there, I rolled an 8-year, 9-year span of doing that. And once again, somebody else, I allowed Mr. Saunders, who just retired, the GOAT around here. He and his team saw something in me while I was at Bethel. And
sounds like this is what you were called to.
Yeah.
It's a calling.
And they started pouring into me, and they said, you got something in you that others need to see. Stop hiding. So they got me on the track to get into the administrative route. And it just kind of snowballed from there. Everything happened pretty quickly after I finished everything that I needed to. Now we're here. Yeah, we're here. So I'm excited.
That's a beautiful story.
I'm truly excited because God has put me in a place to once again be poured into. Like my current principal that I'm gonna be working with and under, Dr. Patrina Jenkins. She's so dope. She's so dope. And
shout out to the queen.
The queen. Yeah, she the queen. Like for real. And she an OG in the game. But she's just one, like I said, just another individual willing to recycle what she's been given into the next. And that's really what I'm about.
Keep it going. Keep it
Recycle
going.
it.
So before we get real deep into things, Sport Exposure is all about celebrating our triumphs and learning from our defeats. So when you hear that, what comes to mind when we talk about your journey?
One that I really had to take advantage of those singular opportunities because I've always worked hard. Like once I got into a space, people immediately knew, like, I see why you got here. But the getting here piece, or the name or the notoriety and things of that nature, or a team around you, put I didn't necessarily have that. Like my people that were around me that grew up with me knew, you could, but it was filled with not a straight and narrow path. Like I had
it's usually
some
how it
real
goes.
heartbreak moments trying to chase that ball around. And in doing so, it really helped me to understand who I was as a person and how much grit I really had. Like I said, once I was able to get in certain doors, like I said, once I got there, they understood why I got there. But
that's still athlete coming through.
But that easy path or things being handed, nah. So I had, and I don't know how detailed you want me to go with that. I've had some deterrent moments that tested my mentals on whether I wanted to continue on the path to chase that basketball.
And that's our motto. That's how we live and die by that. You really got to celebrate overcoming a triumph because it's a lot that it takes, a lot that goes into the positions that we are in today that a lot of people don't see. And
the crazy thing about it, just being in this space is it's kind of difficult for me to talk about myself. So that if I ask you like how detailed you want me to go, you just
that's why we're here. We're here to unpack. This is a complete safe space. This is a complete safe space. And like I said, these are conversations that maybe you need to hear out loud. Because the next person, we're talking about pouring into the next generation. So it's a lot of children that were once in your position that need to hear this. You speak it to yourself.
I got you.
You speak it to yourself.
I got you.
So let's talk about who you are outside of a former athlete, outside of a principal, assistant principal.
I mean,
and I'm sorry, but I know you mentioned finding yourself chasing that ball.
Yeah.
And a lot of us miss that.
So what I learned about myself in that, like I said, that grit, that ability to grow from those failures. I'm a middle child, so being in between or being collaborative is a big thing for me because I have an older sister, a younger brother, and being able to be in a space with people and wanting to bridge. That's what I take as the middle child, the bridge, whether it be two different opposing trains of thoughts or what. Like when I'm in the room, I like bringing people together because I like to be comfortable with the group that I'm with.
Right.
So I learned that about myself, like just.
Was that the type of player you were too? Bringing everybody together?
I'm very unselfish. And I think playing with the people that I play with, and matter of fact, I just had a conversation the other day with my guy, Ashton Jordan. He said, I always respected how you played the game because I knew it was opportunities for you to like really go in if you wanted to be a scorer or to really be the man, but you were so unselfish and did any and everything that those teams needed at that moment, whether it be just being a defensive ball hawk, which I kind of hung my hat on. That's really what kept me on the floor. But I could score if I wanted to. I wasn't necessarily a volume shooter, but I was very efficient. And if I needed to score for that night, then I would take on that role. But it was just whatever teams, whatever. I'm just a true stay in my lane role player. But if I see it's a need or a deficiency, I'm trying to mask that for the team. I was always, like I said, that glue. You know how you get those glue guys and stuff? I prided myself on being the glue guy. And now that I'm thinking about it, just some of the positions or places that my teammates put me in and found ways to, you be in the forefront of us because we see how you work. We know you're going to take care of us.
They trusted you.
They trusted me. So just now that I'm like thinking and reliving all of that, like I would say more so that glue guy. And I prided myself on that. Like I truly prided myself on that because that it takes me to thinking about my father. My father was that type of person, very selfless, very supportive to whoever needed. And you know what I'm saying? If he saw a need, he would try to do and make sure that people were square. And I translated that on the court. Yeah, like the more I think about it, that's definitely what I.
So how would you say that background has translated over to your career?
Man, same.
The same
Like, I
thing.
attack it the same way. And it's provided me opportunities to be in this way. And that's why I'm so excited about this new opportunity, because now, like I said, my reach goes beyond my classroom now. If I can get these adults, man, if I get these adults on board.
When you get them on board, we speak things into existence.
Thank you. When I get these adults on board, man,
you really got to be the change.
Like,
and
that,
you in a position
to. And it's hard work, but it's so easy at the same time, yo. Because if you got the mentality,
it's nothing that you can't do.
That you here for that child, those children, and you put those personal biases aside, and you really want to be collaborative and work together as a team to accomplish those tasks, man, life in a school could be so much easier. And that's one of the more difficult things in working in the education, like just having not just the children, because a lot of the times you'll hear, oh, these children are off the chain.
Where it start?
They you know what I'm saying? Oh, it's the home, like yeah, but you got them for 7.25 hours. You know what I'm saying? You got to throw those biases aside.
Job.
And it's your job to plant a seed and nurture that child and show them children the way it should be modeled and done. And if you in here acting just like the children, now you becoming a hypocrite.
You saying a lot right now.
Now you
saying a lot.
To me, you can't complain if you ain't trying to be a part of the solution. And that's one of the reasons why I go about it the way that I have. Like, I can't sit here and complain about the current state of things if I'm not actually trying to be part of the solution.
I like that. I like that a lot, because I feel like we hear a lot about the new generation kids being off the chain. They're doing this. We see social media stuff. But like you said, you have these kids for majority of their day. That's almost like a 9 to 5.
180 days out of the year.
So what are you doing to change the trajectory? What are you doing to change, like you said, planting a seed? And you got to water that seed. And water that seed, you got 180 days to water that seed. Because that's why you're there. And I wish that a lot more adults, a lot more teachers and administrators had that outlook. Because like you said, I feel like that's the downfall. Because these kids see y'all. They see you every day.
Man, it's such a social deficit right now with all of the variables that we have in place, all of the exposure that these children have. So that is one of the areas that I start with. That social piece, because then if you're attacking the social piece in the right way and you're building those relationships, you building that connection and gathering that trust from that student, and they understand that you care, now you can start to grind through these academic deficits or anything of that nature. They're not going to care. Exactly. They're not going to care. Anything you show. You could be the greatest math teacher in the world, man. Like, the greatest.
But until you build that relationship.
But until they know you care, they don't care about what you're saying. But as soon as they know you care about them, now we can start getting some things done. And that's one of the areas in which I feel like I'm an authority. Just like I said, that bridge, that middle child, like making sure that glue.
Right.
Building that social intelligence enough to where you now have the attention of these children and they are accepting the things that you are delivering or trying to facilitate for them. And from there, you plant those seeds. Now you're recycling all of that, and then they can take, because these children are so bright.
They are.
Oh, man.
They are.
These children are so bright.
That's why we got. That's what I'm saying. They real precious cargo. They're talented. They're educated.
God,
it blows my mind.
Yo, it's crazy because they'll find the most innovative way to do the most destructive thing.
And you can't even be mad.
And I'm like, dang.
You thought through that.
Yo, you really thought through that.
Very efficiently.
You really thought, you got a whole scheme.
Just imagine if they was putting that same energy
into just more productive.
Or something productive.
That
or
ability,
something beneficial.
Something beneficial. Like just building the citizenship. Like, yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I know that's my area. And then there's other aspects of being an educator and a instructional leader that I want to work on, but that piece right there, I feel like it's just the foundation. And it's a lot of what helped me to be who I am when I came up through the school system. A lot of the individuals that come to mind for me, that it was a social piece first.
Mm-hmm.
It was that connection.
Right.
And we could have conversations, or they could talk to me a certain way, because I knew when they talked to me, they really trying.
It. Yeah.
They meant it, and they were trying to make sure that I was staying on a path towards success.
For sure. So let's get into your journey. Tell me about a significant moment or experience that played a huge part in shaping who you are today.
Sports.
We could talk about sports. I mean, yeah, let's start with sports, actually. Let's start with sports. Because, I mean, that's where everything started, right?
It is.
So let's start there.
We can start with grassroots, playing AAU. My mentor and coach, I'm still with him to this day, Gary Smith Sr. He really instilled in me nurtured my love for basketball, because I was actually brought up to play baseball. My dad was a very good baseball player from East St. Louis. Had his opportunities to play major, but that injury bug and all that, just that story happened to him. But ability wise and brought up starting out, I was brought up to play baseball. But as soon as
so how we get to basketball?
Man, one, it was inside. And then two, growing up here, it was very different than growing up in inner city East St. Louis. Inner city East St. Louis, you playing with bruhs. Like, you playing with people that look like you.
Right.
Growing up here in Hampton, Phoebus, Virginia, even though it's Phoebus, when I go to play baseball, or I'm going on base to play base because he was military, the dynamic, the demographic is different.
Very different.
You know what I'm saying? And I didn't see a whole lot of, starting off, that was cool to me. But as soon as I got to basketball, I saw more of us. And then I started making friends. I said, shoot. I'm playing with them. So that, and then it was inside. It wasn't outside them elements. And it just, I don't know. Basketball is just so, it's so much skill involved. It's that athleticism. Like, it just allows you to display so many aspects of the human body. And then the mental side doesn't come into play till you start trying to cross that threshold to those higher levels.
Yeah, we'll get there.
So with that grassroots, with Coach Gary, having the success playing with a lot of the young, strong talent around here, because AAU back then, it was only two teams.
One, maybe two.
One team. But it was split into two, A and B team. A B team.
They don't know nothing about that
no more.
And
you got, 150 kids, 100 kids
and
trying out
make
for
that A or B team,
30 spots.
You wait until next year.
For the A, you know what I'm saying? So that in itself, I always like competition. So he sparked all of that. Then we get to high school and I'm just playing. That right there, I was playing with all my boys. I had the fundamentals, but I never really knew how to play the game. I just was so gifted athletically, and I had a motor out of this world that it afforded me opportunities.
Right.
So when I got to high school, I'm just playing, but where that turning point came was my junior year, going back to St. Louis University for their summer camps. Lorenzo Romar was there. And his assistant coach had to have me. Like, I'm like, oh, shoot, I got an actual opportunity at D1 basketball. That summer, he actually ended up getting the job at Washington. So everything that I thought was going to, because I was going to go there, I wasn't going to be scholarship, but I was going to be red. Like, his assistant coach wanted me so much, he was on some, all right, we're going to look at him. He can come play his way on the team, because me, the stature, I'm barely, at that time, I'm 155, 160, barely 6 foot.
So
I'm small.
You got some pounds to put on.
Yeah. So I'm small. So like, them really looking at me in that regard, like, that was going to be a big opportunity for me. And that was really what I had. I didn't have anything higher than that slew
You just need your foot in the door.
That slew, and then everything else under that was a D3 school, and that was it. Nobody around here was recruiting me. So that right there was the start of me thinking, oh, I can actually play after high school. And that fell through, and that's where one of those failure, not necessarily a failure, but one of those deterrents came. Like, do I really?
How bad I want it?
Do I really want to pursue this if I know, like, he left, now everything is just off the table. I'm not going to Washington. He got his, they got their own situation.
It's a real high risk.
So it really put me in a place where, like, man, I'm going into my senior year. Like, what do I have? And then comes along an opportunity. I'm working with Gannon Baker. I know he's big time in Nike now, like Gannon Baker, but he's a local product. Played in Hampton with Swan. He gave me the opportunity in the sense of just communicating. Yo, I got a kid in the gym I'm working with because I started working out with him. I think y'all might want to look at it. And this is where Mount Olive came into play. That right there changed my whole life when it came to basketball. And I say it changed my whole life because when he communicated to the assistant coach there, they got me down on that visit. I played one time. I played for an hour. 4-hour drive. I remember my parents rented that van. 4.5 hour drive, laying in the back of that van. And as soon as I get up, I got to get out and hoop. I went in.
Fresh off the road like that?
Fresh off the road. I had to. This was my only opportunity. And that right there showed me, like I said, I had some grit. And it was all she wrote from there. I don't want to continue to go too deep because I know you got other questions, but that right there sparked like, all right, I'm going to chase this basketball for real now. It's real. And I ended up playing my way into a scholarship and doing some really good things in Mount Olive.
So we're talking about basketball. We're talking about your collegiate career. We're talking about the things that, that led you to where you are. Talk about your grit to get to professionalism, professional ball.
Yeah.
So that's the whole.
That story is another.
That's what I'm saying. That's the whole from a school, from a Mount Olive to get to professional.
So very similar situation. I'm going through. I have a very strong and solid career with Mount Olive. Accolade wise, I mean, over 1,000 point score, second in school history and steals. Like I had a solid career at Mount Olive. But once again, going into that senior year, I didn't have
scouts. Yeah.
Nah. Overseas was just like, I gotta find a way to get in front of somebody. So in North Carolina, they had a program or a team, USA Select, that basically compiles a team of athletes that want to get on overseas. So this team travels overseas and plays like 15 games in 20 nights in front of, and they're traveling from Germany.
My body hurt thinking about that.
You see what I'm saying? They're going from Finland to Estonia to Germany.
How is that?
I'm telling you, this was the grind that I would have had to go.
15 games in 20 days.
And I'm telling you,
that's not healthy. And
the whole process behind getting on this team is to once again get in front of one of these clubs that may be looking for you, playing these exhibition games against these clubs,
right?
But you're trying to get on through that. Just you got to have a good game, or they got to match up.
Was it one of those type deals where at any moment somebody can pick you up?
Any moment they can pick you up. So if you play well that game, they on some you already over there. They don't have to pay for no flight, no nothing like that.
You already here. Let's go.
So boom, that was the situation I was in. So I went to this tryout in hopes of doing that. I knew this was one of, if not the only situation. God jumped in my body again. Went crazy. But what happened was the coach that I eventually ended up playing for in Finland was an American. He happened to be at that practice, that tryout.
Alignment.
I did so well in his eye. He was like, yo, I'm going to one other place. If I don't see anybody else in that place, you and I need to have a conversation. And I'm coming. Basically, he went to where he wanted to go. Didn't see anybody that impressed him. And once again, like that right there gave me the opportunity to realize a dream of mine. I didn't get to the NBA, I still was striving to.
Right.
This was my little detour to try to loop back around and get a potential opportunity to like realize my ultimate dream. But I always knew that if I didn't get here, I wanted to get here and playing professionally somewhere. Like that was just a dream of mine. And that played into it. And once I got there, once I get in that space, I'm going to make sure that I'm part of the glue.
Yeah. I'm going to show you why I'm here.
I'm going to show you why. And that translated. My first year over there, we won our division. Moved that team up. Like, it was just things, like, I look back over my life sports-wise, and I'm like, yeah, yo. Like, I may not been a 35-point score or like I said, I did what people, sensationalize and things of that nature. But everywhere I went, we won.
It says a lot about you.
Or I say that we accomplished our goals. Of course, winning is that. But we accomplished the goals of whatever it is. And I was just very big. And that's what like I said, I translate that into what I do now. Like,
that says a lot about you. And the fact that you said that I heard you say that you progressed so quickly, once again, on the teacher side, on the education side. So it's like, it seems like all your life you've been called to what you're walking in. So how long did you play professional ball?
I played 4 years. I played 2006, 2007 season. Coming back from the 2007 season, I did this myself. I had no agent. But while I was over there, I had an agent or tried to get on with my homeboys that I was playing with, my Americans that I was playing with. And he had some aggressive tactics that the team didn't vibe with. So I missed out on going back to Finland the 2007, 2008. Tried CBA. God dang, I'm thinking about this now. I did CBA that November. That was rough. That was rough.
Pay my way.
Yeah, pay about it. We gonna do the whole 4. That 2007 fall, got the call. Yo, it's a CBA opportunity out in Montana. Hop on a flight. Had to pay my own way, of course. And all this, you
investing
doing
in yourself.
Pay my own way out there. That was a week thing. And this is where the game get crazy. They got a coach coming in. They're going through a transition, but the coach bringing his squad, his people with him. Great camp. When I say a great camp, I had another great camp, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter. He had his own people. I mean, the night before I got the call or from coach saying, yo, we sorry to let you know, but we're going to cut you this, that. Night before, all of those that ended up getting cut, we beat the first team or his people by 30 points. And the exhibit, this is the game.
Politics.
This is the game.
We see that often.
This is the game. But we didn't know that at that time.
Right.
But looking back on it, or that next day, he brought his feet. And that's and the crazy thing about it, he was so candid with me. That's what I appreciated about it. He said, Maurice, like, I hate to do this. You had an amazing camp, but I had some guys that I brought out here with me that I'm gonna have to go with. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to let you go. I had to find my own way back. Luckily, I had the funds to get myself back from Montana. So I sat out the season of 2007 to 2008, ended up working here. And then I got the call back from Finland again. They didn't accomplish the goal after we had moved them up to the top league. They got kicked back down.
Need you back. Hello?
Went back.
They had to spin the block.
8-9. Win the championship. Yeah, move the team back up.
They knew better. They knew what was good for.
Back up. So we stay. This is year 3. Year 3, we play in the top league. Goal is when a new team getting into the top league of their division or their country, you want to stay. Like, that's your first year goal. It's a progress. You're not trying to win the champion. Accomplish that goal. Ended up, but that season was very tumultuous. Like, we had a tough time. We went through 11 Americans, and this is crazy. 11 Americans, and if you ever played overseas, you know, like, if you don't play well or produce,
it's a business.
You could be gone the next day.
It's a business.
We went through 11 different Americans. I was the only American to play from start to finish of that season.
How
they
was that?
fired the coach that's found
The
me at
American?
USA, the American
So
coach.
you
And
was
he
the
was
last-
God over there. This is how bad it was. He was God. So this is year 3. That was that mental wear, not knowing if you're gonna be where you at or if you're gonna get that call and you're gonna be on the next plane out. Like
At any
week
moment.
in, week out. So we ended up righting the ship. I ended up really having just, like I said, another solid season and getting through that.
I was just about to say, let's back up a little bit. Let's back up a little bit. You said it was 11 Americans plus the coach that called you back.
That didn't make it.
So how did you get through that? Because that comes with a lot.
God, like, and God instilling what he instilled in me.
That faith.
And just me being me. Like, I'm not, that city, like I said, the coach that was there, they loved him.
Mm-hmm.
But if you went to the right of him, or I'll even go say, if you went to the next person under, it was me. Like, I infiltrated myself and ingratiated myself into that community.
That didn't happen overnight, though.
It didn't. That was year 3.
Were they accepting of you when you first got there?
They loved me. Because like I said, I'm a glue person, man. I want people around me to be good. I need to be good. I need to be comfortable in these spaces. So I'm connecting with people. I'm a people person.
So is that how you make yourself comfortable in uncomfortable situations? Because I know playing overseas, you thrown into a whole different world, different society.
It is
over there, and it takes a strong mind to stay in that and to continue back through that. So talk about the mentality that you had to keep coming back to what you love, keep chasing that basketball in those type of environments.
I always had a curious mind to grow and know what was outside of
what you were used to.
That's just the concise, straightforward answer. And the ability to do that with the social skills that I had, and then also my athletic skills to kind of add the cherry on top. It just allowed me to have the experience that I had over there and to build relationships that I did over there. And the way that I played the game, they loved it. Like, I played with a lot of passion. I played with a lot of heart.
And they could see it, they could feel it.
And they could see it, and they could feel it.
The energy.
And when I wasn't on the floor, you could tell that I wasn't on the floor.
You had that big of an impact.
So that, I believe that being one of those fan favorites over there, I think it really played a part. And then also, like, I did my job too.
Right.
I did my job too. So that helped me get through that 3rd season. The 4th, I didn't play for that team. That coach that
was gone.
That was gone. He went to another team in the country of Finland. And he called, he said, yo, because I didn't go back. Once he left and they had the new coach in, I finished the season, but they wanted to go in a different direction. So I was kind of in that limbo again that summer. He called, he said, I'm in Loima.
Worked out.
We back down the division again. But yo, I really think your veteran leadership could help these young boys over here. You know what? That played out. Ended up taking the team with all of these young fans and the Americans we had, and ended up winning that championship. So I'm 3 for 4. Excuse me, 3 for 3 championship wise. The 4th one, I didn't play for one, but we achieved the goal. So my name is solid over there. Like,
probably
the more and more I look, like, that's why I say, like, the goals, whatever goals were set, it was always my business to try to accomplish those. And I'm trying to, like I said, not take too much of the time, but just thinking of those different situations, and how, especially that last one. And I ain't even get to how that ended, because that was year 4, and that was it for me. But that one hurt after that year.
So how did you know that was the end?
I didn't. The end came to me.
You ain't get a call back.
So we take a team that wasn't expecting to win. We were a mediocre team throughout the season, but we were peaking at the right time. And the teams that were ahead of us, we had already beat. So going into the playoffs, the organization was like, yo, we're looking to bring you back next year. Can we put online or can we get an oral confirmation that y'all will be coming back? Because our objective now, just looking at the landscape of the team, is to try to entice better Finns. Because, over there, you can only play with 3 non-domestic players. So 3 American players or 3 outside non-Finnish players. So where you not balance out, but where you get an advantage is when you have local domestic Finns that are solid,
right?
That play for the national team and things. So that was their plan. They asked us to do that. We said, yeah, but y'all looking at it like we not gonna win this. Like we looking at the team like, all right, y'all thinking it that way.
Don't even worry about it.
Don't even worry about it. We gonna do y'all one better. Ended up going through, winning the championship. So it accelerated their plan, threw them in the tizzy. They ended up getting other money coming in. And once again, that situation, the politics come into play, that extra money or that new sponsor booster coming in, he bring his own people. He got his fans, they getting what they want, but those fans now want other Americans that they played with. I get home, and this is one of the mistakes that I made, and this is some game to some of the individuals that
drop a gem for us.
Don't ever leave from over there without signing anything. Don't ever leave with just an oral agreement.
And why is that?
Because you can get home like I did, be waiting for that phone call in that time frame that they said they would call you and not get it, or get it several weeks later and say, yeah, well, we had to.
Somebody was already over here.
We had to make a different move. And that was that situation where that guy came in with his people had their people. In order to make it work and get what we want, we got to go with this situation. It don't matter what you did.
Money involved.
And the crazy thing about it, I left that season. We won that championship, and I left with the most accolades that I ever had over there. Guard of the year, first team, all league, and what else?
There's more. Talk to me.
Yeah, guard of the year. And first team, all league. Like I've been honorable mention and all that. I've been tops and steals and stuff like that. But like to have those accolades and you win a championship for this team, but not come back, where do they do that at? So that's what I'm saying. It's the politics of the game, and that right there hurt. And that's where I made the decision that the end had came to me. Because I had already been through the one situation earlier with not going back. That's that year 1 to year 2 time frame, the CBA situation. And it just was like, I got education. I know I'm not going to be playing this forever. So I made the decision to just come on home and start my career and start my new journey. Like that, yeah. That right there helped me to be where I am right now.
So when I hear your story, I hear a lot of, like you said, a lot of grit, a lot of grind. That comes with a lot of determination. It sounds like you've been in a lot of testing and trying situations. Talk about what you had to do to overcome that. It could be through basketball. It could be post-basketball. We all about celebrating and overcoming adversity. So talk about a specific time or a specific low moment in your career. That
one hit hard. That last one that I talked about, that transition from Finland back home. Only because it showed me that I can achieve the highs of the highs and still
not be good enough.
Not be good enough.
And that's life.
And still not be good enough. Now you get knocked in the mouth. How you gonna respond? Yeah, those hoopers and things of that nature that just gonna chase that. Those ones that have to chase the ball, they gonna look at it like, man, you gave up. Mm-hmm. But that's
just one side.
That's what I'm saying. Those that understand that there's life elsewhere, there's opportunities elsewhere. Now I can utilize all of those experiences.
Yes,
I can utilize all those experiences.
So to your point, talk about the things that you've learned as a student athlete that transferred over, like you said, to utilizing our experiences. Me, I'm real huge on networking and experiences and exposure because, like you say, you don't know what you don't know. But I knew that I wasn't going to play ball forever. I knew I didn't want to go pro. But every stop that I went, from internship to hooping to maybe a trip, I'm networking. I'm trying to meet, who is this person? What do you do? So talk about what you had to do and how you transferred those skills over into basketball.
So I'm a piggyback off the networking piece, but I'm a shift it for me in the sense of the relationships that I built, building relationships. The relationships that I had gave me, or just the way that I made somebody feel in the moment in which they met me, went a long way. Those impressions that I had. So like, oh, this gentleman or this guy could potentially help me or be an asset for whatever it is and I feel like just building those relationships got me into the door or allowed me to network with the right people. So when I did get back home or I had conversations with people that I hadn't talked to in a while, we picked right back up
where we left. Right.
Like we hadn't been talking, like we've been talking for the last 5 years and I hadn't talked to you in 6. So that piece right there for me has always helped me out. And I'm gonna hang it on that relationship piece, man. Like I'm big on relationships.
You gotta be. They're so important.
I'm huge on relationships. Like it's the I mean, if you think about the situation that bumped me, if you think about the relationships that bumped me out the way, they were built on the relationships,
right? Right. And people. I know with my experience seeing it from both sides of the ball, those politics play into, like you said, you get to a place and it don't matter how much I could do. It don't matter about my accolades. It don't matter about what I delivered, my impact that I can impact. When it comes to politics, it doesn't matter. Yeah. It really doesn't matter. And I also feel like this conversation is so important because a lot of athletes need to know when it comes to getting recruited, when it comes to going to the next step, when it comes to some of these scholarships. Some of these coaches got people that know somebody that knew somebody that owe somebody a favor. Yeah. And all of that plays a part.
Now, in the student athlete piece, if I'm getting back to that previous question, discipline was a big thing for me. That helped me. Discipline, regimented, and I mean just natural, just authentic hard work.
Yeah.
And consistency. Like making routine plays routinely. That type of mentality.
Right.
Like just being so regimented. This is what it is. Whether it be the fundamentals, you coming in the gym and making sure that your pad is right. Like it's just that routine and that regimen. And I think that translates to a lot of why I have the success that I have now. It just looks different. But that discipline now, that work ethic, and like you said, that consistency in your routine, that is what I really got from being the athlete. And I applied it to the student part. And I am studious.
Right.
Like I like trying to learn new things. Like if you give me something that I'm interested in, I'm going
for it. Right.
I'm going in the rabbit hole. Like, yeah, like Alice. Like I'm in there.
We're going to see about it. Right. We're going to see about it.
Yeah, that's just one thing that I do. Like I'm gung-ho, like shoot, just if it's anything that piques my interest or grabs my curiosity, I'm definitely going to put in my work to figure out why it is.
How important would you say it is to love what you do and be passionate about what you do?
It's the ultimate, because it's not always going to be smooth sailing. And if you don't love it, you know what I'm saying? If you don't love it, when those rough patches come, when those turbulent times come, like it's easy to just give up.
Right.
And try to figure something else out or find something else. It's easy to be deterred and taken off path. But if you love it, you'll toil. Like you'll grind in that muck. Because you know on the other side of that grind.
Right. You know why you're here. You know why you're doing it. And that's that reminder.
You know why. You'll go through that caterpillar stage to become the butterfly.
With pride. With pride, because you know where we're going. We know we're going to end up. So it sounds to me like you've always been yourself at every level. And even becoming to an assistant principal now. talk about staying true to who you are as a person in all these different rooms and all these different environments, through the ups and through the downs. Because for myself, I know it is hard. I pride myself in staying true to who I am. Yeah. It's not always the easiest thing to do.
It's not.
So talk about getting over that hump and just reminding yourself why you here.
Because I had great examples, role models and people around me that were themselves. Guys that I grew up with, like, I mean, just from a young age. And I'm thinking about, God rest his soul, my guy, Hollis Mason. I'm going to use his government. Like,
shout out to Hollis Mason.
Yo, rest in peace, brother. He was one of the first persons that I saw, like, that never deterred from who he was, yo. No matter what room he was in, what class he was dealing with. Tree was, and that's his alias, like, Tree was always himself. And I always watched, and I mimicked that. But I saw being yourself, not necessarily trying to be him, but me being myself, allowed people to really open up and trust and know, like, all right, this is what I'm getting. Right. And I just never deterred from that.
Like, it really sets yourself apart. Like, in this day and age, because we see people all the time, like, somebody else that have maybe had your story that climbed themselves to assistant principal. They might switch up when they get up there.
See, and that's the thing. And I had to deal. I got my hat on and my rag on. But
I love it.
The thing that I had to do, and this was a conversation I had with my wife and just other people, I got braids. Like, I'm the only one. I went to my leadership summit just 2 weeks ago. Nobody looks like me. I toiled with, should I cut my hair? Go clean shave?
Yeah.
I literally had another instructional leader, another principal come to me and was like, yo, can I take a picture with you?
It's important that we see
It is important. It is so important
like
that I take a picture with you so I can show my children at my school that, yo, you can see like this.
And that impact becomes so much broader, I feel. I'm just working at the places that I've worked at, and I'm sure you can attest to this. As a student athlete, as a student administrator, and working those different roles, like I said, the feedback that you get from the kids, natural gravitation, because I look like them. Like, I'm not doing this for me, but they need to see that it's okay for me to look like this and walk in the room and do the same things that you see these white people doing.
Yo, and the crazy thing about that natural gravitation, now you gravitate towards me, and then I'm also knocking down your defense systems. Because it's a comfort there. Mm-hmm. You look like uncle. You look like pop. You look like cousin. Mm-hmm. You look like brother. All right, maybe I can trust be myself and trust this person. So that's enough. Yeah. That's definitely one of the reasons why, like I said, that authenticity, just being myself, came into play. And I've never had hair. I didn't start growing this till COVID. I just couldn't go to the bar.
Right.
And then when I said, man, you know what? I would just try something. And then ever since that, I've been growing.
Gotta keep
it's
it.
the other piece. And I think, like, us as us.
Mm-hmm. Kings and queens.
Kings and queens. Like, I found that when I started reaching out more here, I started getting more connected and manifesting things differently. Yo.
Yeah.
Like, I'm serious.
No,
like,
I can attest to that. For
now
real.
I understand why, like, the Nazarene, like Jesus was a Nazarene and they never cut their hair and all that type of stuff. Like,
it's a whole
all
different...
of that stuff. Like, you hear it, you think about it and stuff like that, but like, yo, maybe it might be something in
and
this.
It's funny that you say that, because when I was at Georgia Southern, like, in the middle of nowhere, a whole bunch of white people, that's the reason why I started wearing my hair natural. I never wore my hair natural. I've always had a decent grade of hair, but since I'm down here, I want y'all to know why I'm here. Like, I'm one of them. Yeah. So I'm going to come to the meetings, presidents, deputy athletic, and I'm not going to comb my hair. Because I'm in here with y'all.
Yo,
what can you say?
I'm here for
at
a
the
reason.
same table you at. Why does it matter? And to that, talk about the importance of kids seeing visual representation. Like, it's important for us to be in these rooms. It's important for us to be on these boards. It's important for us to be in these classrooms and in these positions of leadership, so that they can see I can be like him and look like myself.
Yep. And still get the job done.
However, I feel like getting it done.
It's still get the job done, And that's the biggest thing. And that's what I have to, like I said, you become self-conscious in certain moments. But then you look at like, I'm still getting the job done. Why does that matter? I'm still presenting myself as I need to be socially.
Right.
To get the job done. So why does my appearance matter? Other than, like you said, to inspire those that look like us, that we can be in these positions and still complete whatever goal, whatever task with dignity. With just the right mind and the right approach. But I can look like,
and I just have
a color. Like I can look like a Negro. I can look like
who I am.
I
am black.
Like,
no ifs, ands, or buts.
Like that.
People look at you funny when you walk in certain rooms. Like I said, I gotta ask because they used to look at me like I was crazy.
I'm telling you, like,
what you doing here?
As an administrator, with the tats and with the hair and the robes, I see the looks. Like even in my interview portions, like when I walk into the room,
let me see what he got.
All right. Let me see why he here. And then once I open my mouth and start doing my thing, now I understand.
Right.
So I got in the looks. I got in the question. You gonna cut your hair? From my own. What you gonna do? Like through that process. I was like, nah, man. And once again, like I said, that manifestation piece, like that more connected portion of what I'm feeling, because I've grown, like so many things have moved my way. I mean, I ain't without those
breaking barriers,
those L's during that journey. But I feel like what I actually have internalized and thought about manifesting, a lot of those things have come to pass since I've been growing my hair. So I'm like, I'm not.
It got you to where you are. I mean, you thriving now.
I'm not cutting it. Not cutting it.
So this has been an amazing conversation. Like I said, Sport Exposure is all about visual representation of different paths of life, different walks of life, different experiences. Sport Exposure is about exposing experiences, exposing journeys. What do you want to expose to the next generation of student athletes? Exposure can be good, exposure can be bad. And we all have a story to tell.
What do I want to expose them to? I mean, just if you are going to embark on this path, do it with some diligence, Like, and what I mean by doing it with diligence, of course, work on your craft. Like, work on your craft. That's. I mean, you're a student athlete for a reason. Like when you get to college or
that's why you're right.
You getting
that should be number one. That should be a no-brainer.
That's why you're here. Like you get.
I shouldn't have to coach that.
It's a full time. Like work on your craft, but beyond that, like, set yourself up. Set yourself up, whether it be through building those relationships, but like putting yourself in a position to where when things are all said and done, or that ball no longer bounces.
Because it's going to stop.
It's going to stop.
It's going to stop. You may not know when, but it's going to stop.
Once that ball starts bouncing, you're not looking there like, yo, what the hell am I going to do? Like those are the two pieces. And however that looks for you, you just need to be putting yourself in those positions and connecting yourself with the right people, the right resources to make sure that you have a life raft after it starts. But chase it, like go all in and get as far as you can. But once that ball starts bouncing, transition. Set yourself up for that transition, and apply.
It's gonna be a hell of a transition, right?
And apply what got you to that point in that next phase.
That's it right there. That's it. Well, thank you so much for the time.
Yeah.
This is an amazing conversation. I hope my student athletes got something from this conversation. And good luck to you this school year, Assistant Principal.
And I appreciate y'all having me on. Like for real, this was an honor. I've never been a part of anything like this, but
yes, tell everybody about it. This is one of one.
This is
an experience, sport exposure experience.
This was the first, so I hope that I checked the boxes that needed to be checked.
Absolutely, and did.
And And y'all continue this great work.
Thank you.
This is an amazing platform for people to be able to,
appreciate it so much,
to talk and get that stuff out.
We all about impact.
Yeah,
all about impact.
So I appreciate you, buddy.